Well, I think I'm a little bit emotional, but not because of the game. It's because of the sad news I had just after the game just now concerning Kabuza, and it's something which he did, and I didn't even expect him to do that. I wouldn't even encourage him to do that, but I think he did what he did, for the badge. This is what happened. He lost his son on Monday, and he never told anyone. And the funeral was on Thursday. He never attended because he only told us in the dressing room now that this is what happened. He didn't want to upset the camp because we're facing a very crucial game. And for me, it just killed everything, because I see someone who's really who's committed, someone who a lot of players can learn from, and he's got to go through that and still play the way he played, play man of the match performance like that, in the back of what happened. I think for me, I dedicate this this win and this cup to him, because I think from day one he really deserves it. And I think that's the only sad part. And I think for me, it's already hitting me that someone can do that. Probably doing it for the team, doing it for me. And I appreciate that, but at the same time, I'm also hating. Okay, coming to the game, I think first 10-15 minutes we didn't have a good start. And I think Highlands Park dominated. They got into good areas. Ronwen kept us in the game. I think they had one good chance. They could have scored there, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. And Ronwen, I think that's why he's Bafana Bafana's number one. He kept us in the game. And after that, we started to gain a little bit of momentum in our play, but we knew that we needed to be a little bit more disciplined, because Highlands Park, they're a very hard-working team, but organized as well as disorganized as well, because they apply a man marking game in certain areas. So we needed to apply a little bit of element of surprise in terms of our movement. And I think the moment we did that, we scored a goal where Tebza just went through the gate, and he went to the channel and put in a cross, and we scored from that. And I think we scored at the right time, maybe 2 minutes before the break, and that really a little bit shocked them. And we were disciplined throughout the game because we needed to do that. And we nullified their threat, which is a long throw. And again, Kabuza played a huge role there, because we put him on Mvala. Because Mvala, if you look at his goals, most of his goals he scores with his head. So we knew that if we can nullify that, he was not gonna be effective for them. And Kabuza was very instrumental. He's been even on set plays, corner kicks, whether it was side free kicks. He was very instrumental, and we defended very well. And the other threat was Shalulile, because Highlands Park, they are more dangerous when they don't have the ball. In the sense that when you have possession, if you get too excited, when they trap you, when they win the ball, they're just looking for Mohaila and Shalulile, so they just hit the ball behind, and then they're through. So we were very disciplined in that regard, that we never gave them that space. Only maybe for the first 10-15 minutes where Mukhaila was breaking a little bit more on the right there, but we corrected that, and we managed the game throughout the 90 minutes. Yeah, we like I said, we needed to try and manage the game a little bit better, because sometimes Highlands Park, if you wanna outrun them, you get tired. So we tried a little bit to let them use the energy a little bit more, and then we stay a little bit more compact, disciplined, and use the ball a little bit better whenever we had it. And you could see, later on in the stages, the game, they were just, hitting the balls, just trying to look for that ball behind. And we deal to that because that's their threat. If you don't give them space behind, they can't play. That's what happened today, because they couldn't get that space for them to run into, because we closed them. We closed that space. We never really tried to press a little bit higher, because we knew that if we press a little bit higher, they're gonna get now space behind, and so we didn't give them that space. So today it was a little bit different tactically. Well, I think for me, I try to see them as human beings first, before soccer players. That's how I try to manage the players, because it's very key as well to know that players are happy, and players are happy to come to training, because when a player stops, enjoying training, enjoying coming to training, then there is a problem. But if a player knows that we've got his back, if he has a problem, he can still come to me, and we sometimes we protect each other. It's normal, because we are a family. We try and create a family environment, because he knows that if he had told us earlier, we were not going to allow that, for him to come and play. That's why he probably did that, because we were not going to allow that, because we look at him as a person first, as a human being before soccer player, because it's work, but you've got to enjoy work, and it doesn't just start at the training ground. And also there are a lot of people who play that role as well, a huge role, from the office, the support staff. They help me as well to try and manage the team, manage the players, because there are things which happen in a dressing room. There is a dressing room which I can control. There's another one which I cannot control. But as long as they're happy, it's easy for me to be able to control that even when I'm not there. So it's about having a happy, dressing room, happy environment. Yeah, I think I've worked with a lot of coaches, and throughout, when I was an assistant coach, I always, made sure that I support whoever, I work with, and I learn as much as I can. And I've worked with Gavin Hunt, I've worked with Gordon Higgins, I've worked with Coach Pizzo, I've worked with Stuart Baxter. And I believe in having, mentors who you can, pick a, call in a phone and say, I'm going to call him. Now I can even call, Stuart anytime. I can call him, I need help, 1, 2, 3, how do I deal with this situation? He is always there to help me, because he's been there, he's seen it. I can speak to Gavin anytime, regarding players. I can give him a call. I can speak to Coach Pizzo. I can speak to Coach Gordon Higgins, because there's that trust which was built, all these years, because they trust me, they believe in me, and I also thank them, because without them I wouldn't be where I am today. Because sometimes you learn, you learn from bad situations, you learn from good situations as well, and that has happened throughout my career up to now. Oh well, I think it's normal, but I think we've had experience regarding situations like this, and for us, we always try and be humble and keep our feet on the ground. We've got a young team, young players coming up, and they can easily get excited as well. But it's our responsibility as well to always tell them, to remind them that you are always as good as your last game, and each and every game is different. So now we're looking forward to the next game. This will go out there, today, tomorrow, celebrate. But on Monday we're back again. We already tried to put this behind us because it's still a very long season. I think this is our 11th game, of the season so far. So the season is still very young, and the players are aware of that. But it's also good to go into the season motivated after winning the cup, because last season as well we got to the final and then we lost, and then we ended up having a lot of injuries, and then we wobbled a little bit. We were not consistent because we lost very crucial players in terms of our structure. But now we've tried to beef up in certain areas for us to prepare ourselves for rainy days, because there is going to be loss of form, because we've got a lot of players also playing for the national teams, and the past week, the last FIFA calendar, we had about 10 players who had gone to play for their respective national teams. So it's another thing that might also we have to really make sure that we plan properly regarding the team. That's why we have the Galinges, Kudama Achi. They haven't really started playing Tabo Mnyamane, but you start seeing them more because we need to try and refresh the team as well.